Hello guys, today we're going to read is called Magic Treehouse number 4, Pirates Past Noon, and it's by Mary Pop Osborne. We read chapter 6. It is time for chapter 7. Chapter 7, Gulls Blowing. So the treasure must be under that rock, said Annie. Right, said Jack. Now we just have to get back to the island. We'll show Captain Bones where the treasure is. Then while all the pirates are digging, we'll sneak up to the treehouse and make a wish to go home, said Annie. Right. Jack poked his head out of the round window of the cabin. Captain Bones, sir, he shouted. The pirate took up the cry. Captain Bones! Captain Bones! Hey! Came a horrible voice. Captain Bones stuck an ugly face through the window. His good eye glared at Jack. What do you want, lubbers? We are ready to tell you the truth, said Jack. Go ahead, growled Captain Bones. We know where Captain Kidd's treasure is. Where? We can't just tell you. We have to show you, said Annie. Captain Bones gave Annie and Jack a long, hard look. You'll need a rope, said Jack. And shovels, said Annie. Captain Bones growled. Then he roared at his men. Get some rope and shovels! Aye, aye, Captain. Then throw these lubbers in the boat. We're going back to the island. Aye, aye, Captain. Back in the rowboat, Jack saw the sky and had grown even darker with clouds. The waves were bigger. The wind was howling. Gulls are blowing, said Pinky. You'll see a gale if I don't get me go today, by thunder, Captain Bones shouted. Row, dogs, row! The three pirates paddled the reef until the rowboat reached the island. They all piled onto the shore. Captain Bones grabbed Jack and Annie. Okay, lubbers, he said. Now show us where the treasure is. There, said Annie. She pointed at the black rock near the tip of the island. Under the rock, said Jack. Captain Bones dragged Jack and Annie down the beach to the black rock. Get to work, Captain Bones said to Pinky and Stinky. What about you? Said Annie. Me? Work? Captain Bones chuckled. Ha ha ha. Jack gulped. How could they get away from him? Don't you think you should help your friends? He said. Don't you think you should help your friends? He said. Captain Bones gave Jack a horrible grin. Nay, I'm going to hold you till there's treasure in my hands. Chapter 8. Dig Ducks Dig. Pinky and Stinky tied their rope around the big rock. The wind howled. The two pirates pulled and pulled and pulled. They need help, said Jack. Let the dog go do the work, growled Captain Bones. You're not very nice to them, said Annie. Who cares? Roared Captain Bones. Captain, we got it, shouted Pinky. They started pulling the rock across the sand. Now, let's dig where the rock was, said Jack. All of us. But Captain Bones ignored his suggestions. Dig, you dogs, he said. Pinky and Stinky started to dig. The wind blew even harder. There was going to be a thunderstorm. Ow! I got sand in my eyes, Pinky whined. Ow! My back hurts! Stinky cried. Dig! Shouted Captain Bones. He held Jack and Annie with his hand. With the other, he pulled out the gold medallion. He tossed it at the two pirates. It fell into the hole. Dig for more of this, you swain, he said. Squawk. Look, Annie said. Polly was back. She was circling above them. Go back, she squawked. Stinky and Pinky looked at the parrot. They growled. Dig! Shouted Captain Bones. A big storm is coming, Captain, said Tinky. Go back, said Polly. The birds on man, Captain, shouted Stinky. Dig, you dogs, cried Captain Bones. Go back, squawked Polly. The bird's warning us, shouted Pinky. We've got to get the ship before it's too late. The two pirates threw down their shovels and started running towards the rowboat. Montiners, come back! Shouted Captain Bones. He dragged Jack and Annie down the beach as fast as he ran to his men. Stop, bitch! But the pirates kept running. They got to the rowboat and pushed it into the sea. Wait! Cried Captain Bones. Pinky and Stinky jumped into the boat. They started rowing. Wait! Captain Bones let go of Jack and Annie. He ran into the water. Wait, you dogs! He held himself into the rowboat. Then the three pirates disappeared into the spray of wave. Go back! Squawked Polly. She mean us, said Annie. Just then the storm broke over the island. The wind howled. Rain fell in the buckets. Let's go, said Annie. Wait, I have to get the medallion, shouted Jack. He ran to the hole dug by the pirates. He looked down in it. Even the very light the medallion was shining. Big fat raindrops were falling into the hole, washing away the sand. Jack saw a patch of wood. Then the rain cleared away more sand, and Jack saw the top of old trunk. He stared. Was it Captain Bones' treasure chest? Hurry, Jack, said Annie. She was halfway up. The treehouse ladder. I found it! I found it! Said Jack. I found the treasure chest. Forget the treasure chest, said Annie. We have to go now. The storm's getting worse. Jack kept staring at the chest. Was there gold inside? Silver? Precious gems? Come on! Now Annie was shining from the treehouse window, but Jack couldn't tear himself away. He brushed the rest of muddy sand off the chest. Jack, forget the treasure chest, cried Annie. Let's go! Go back, squawked Polly. Jack looked at the parrot. She was perched on the black rock. He stared into her wise eyes. He thought he knew her from somewhere else. Go back, Jack, she said. She sounded like a person. Okay, it was definitely time to go. Jack took one last look at the treasure chest. He clutched the gold medallion. Then he took off, running towards the treehouse. His socks and rain boots were still there. He quickly put the boots on. He shoved the socks into his backpack. The rope ladder was dancing wildly in the wind. Jack grabbed it. The ladder swayed as Jack climbed. He was tossed in way and that, but he held on tight. At last he pulled himself into the treehouse. "Let's go," he cried. Annie was already holding the Pennsylvania book. She pointed to the picture of Rock Creek. "I wish we could go there," she shouted. The wind was already blowing hard, but now it blew even harder. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Chapter 9 The Mysterious Sam. Drip, drip, Jack opened his eyes. Rain was dropping from the leaf on the tree. They were back in Rock Creek. The rain was softer. The wind was gentler. The air was sweeter. "Oh man," Jack sighed. That was close. He was still holding the gold medallion. "Polly's gone," said Annie sadly. "I was hoping she might come back with us." "No magic creature has never come back with us," said Jack. He pulled up his backpack. It was damp with rain and salt water. Jack took out the pirate book. He put it on the stack of woods, on top of the dinosaur book, and the ninth book, and the mummy book. Then Jack put the gold medallion beside the bookmark with the letter M. Next he went down onto his knees and ran his finger over the shimmering M on the floor. "We didn't find any M on this trip," he said. "Or the M person," said Annie. "Squawk! Polly!" Annie cried. The parrot swooshed into the treehouse. She perched on the stack of woods. Polly looked straight at Jack. What are you doing here?" he asked her. Slowly Polly raised her bright green wings. They grew bigger and bigger until they spread out like a huge green cape. Then, in a great swirl of colors, in a burr of feathers and light, in a flapping and scratching and screeching, a new being took shape. Polly was not a parrot any longer. In her place was an older woman, a beautiful old woman with long white hair and piercing eyes. She wore a green feathered cape. She perched the stack of woods, and she was very calm and very still. Neither Jack or Annie could speak. They were too amazed. "Hello, Jack. Hello, Annie," the old woman said. My name is Morgan Le Fay." Chapter 10 Treasure Again. Annie found her voice forced. "The M person?" she whispered. "Yes, I am the M person," said Morgan. "Where are you from?" asked Jack. "Have you ever heard of King Arthur?" said Morgan. Jack nodded. "Well, I am King Arthur's sister," said Morgan. "You're from Camelot," said Jack. "I've read about Camelot." "What did you read about me, Jack?" said Morgan. You're a witch." Morgan smiled. "You can't believe anything you read, Jack." "But you're a magician?" said Annie. "Most call me the entrance, but I'm also a librarian," said Morgan. "A librarian?" said Annie. "Yes, and I have to the 20th century your time to collect books. You are lucky to born in the time with so many books." "For the Camelot Library?" asked Jack. Precisely, said Morgan. "I travel in these treehouse to collect words from many different places around the world. and from many different time periods. Did you find a book here? Said Jack. Oh, yes, many wonderful books. I want to borrow them for the scribe to copy. Did you put the bookmark in them? Said Jack. Yes, you see, I like the pictures in the books. Sometimes I want to visit the scenes of the picture, so all the bookmarks mark places I wish to go. How do you get there? Asked Annie. I placed a spell on the treehouse, said Morgan. So when I point a picture and make a wish, the treehouse takes me there. I think you drove this in dinosaur times, said Jack. He handed the gold medallion to Morgan. Oh, thank you. I wonder where I lost it, she said. She put the medallion into the hidden pocket in her cape. So, can anybody work the spell? Asked Annie. Anybody can try it? Oh dear, no, not just anybody, Morgan said. You two are the only ones beside me to do it. No one else have never even seen my treehouse before. Is it invisible? Asked Annie. Yes, said Morgan. I had no idea it would ever be discovered. But then you two came along. Somehow you hooked right into my magic. How? Asked Jack. Well, for two reasons, I think, explained Morgan. First, Annie believed in magic, so she actually saw the treehouse, and her belief helped you see it, Jack. Oh man, said Jack. Then you pick up a book, Jack, and because you love books so much, you caused my magic spells to work. Wow, said Annie. You can imagine my dismay when you started to take up the dinosaur times. I had to make a very quick decision, and I decided to come along. Oh, so you were the pterodon, said Annie. Morgan smiled. And the cat and the knight and the pulley, said Annie. Yes, said Morgan softly. You are all these things to help us, said Jack. Yes, but I must go home now. The people in Camelot need my help. You leaving? Whispered Jack. I'm afraid I must, said Morgan. She picked up Jack's backpack and handed it to him. Jack and Annie picked up their raincoats. It has stopped raining. You won't forget us, will you? Asked Annie as they put their raincoats on. Never, said Morgan. She smiled at both of them. You remind me too much of myself. You love the impossible, Annie, and you love the knowledge, Jack. Much better combination is there. Morgan's face touched Annie's forehead gently, then Jack's. She smiled. Goodbye, she said. Goodbye, said Annie and Jack. Annie left the treehouse first. Jack followed. They climbed down the rope ladder for the last time. They stood below the oak tree and looked up. Morgan was looking at the window. Her long white hair blew in the breeze. Suddenly the wind began to blow. Leaves began to shake. A loud whistling sound filled the air. Jack covered his ears and squeezed his eyes shut. Everything was silent, absolutely silent. Jack opened his eyes. The treehouse was gone, all gone, absolutely gone. Annie and Jack stood a moment staring up at the empty oak tree, listening to the silence. Annie sighed. Let's go, she said softly. Jack just nodded. He felt so sad to speak. As he started walking, he put his hand into his pockets. He felt something. Jack pulled out the gold medallion. Look, he said. How did? Annie smiled. Morgan just had put it there, she said. But how? Magic, said Annie. I think it means she'll come back. Jack smiled. He clutched the medallion as he and Annie took off through the west sunny woods. As they walked, the sun shined through the woods, and all the wet leaves sparkled. Everything, in fact, was shining. Leaves, branches, puddles, bushes, grass, vines, wildflowers, all glittered like jewels, or gleamed like gold. Annie had been right, thought Jack. Forget the treasure chest. They had the treasure at home, tons of it, everywhere. The end. Thank you for reading the stories. It's called Magic Tree House, number 4, Pirates Past Noon. It's by Mary Pope Osborne, and it's the number 1 New York Times best-selling series. Okay, come to my channels again and read the story. Goodbye.